Hello, shift leads and trainers. I'm going to walk you briefly through the new training system, cheekily titled Training System 3. So appropriate, I know. So it's very simplified, and it's also kind of a balance, hopefully, between the flexibility of the most recent developments in training and some of the previous iterations where we had a little more predictability in terms of results. So, built right into the structure are a few key elements that you need to know about. One, every single day, it's a 1 week training program, 5 days. And when I say 1 week, quote unquote, and 5 days, quote unquote, I mean specifically 5 approximately 4-hour shifts. It may take a span of, 3 and 2 days across 2 weeks, but they're not getting trained for more than 1 week's time. So 4 to 5 days of training, and this is the way that it maps out. Every day has a how-to, and each of those include really clear and specific instructions on what's going to happen that day. So as opposed to this most recent system, now we're going back a step and taking on a more rigid approach to what the trainee does every day, okay? So shift leads, this is going to be a slight change in your mentality. It does not mean there needs to be less communication from the trainers. So my expectation is still that trainers will reach out to shift leads and help create an adequate and effective plan for training. I will be involved in that communication as well. So basically, they go through the training on day one. They're exposed to multiple options for a focus in their training, and then they do some order taking. We've rolled all order taking together into a single style of training and all meal delivery together into a single style of training. So it doesn't matter if you're expo, running, IPOS, front counter, whatever, you're following the same basic principles all the way through. So they learn order taking, meal delivery, and then they get to choose. They get a specialty. So if we look at any of these characters, so let's just pick one here. This is someone who will be training with us soon. We can look at operational focus, and there's a couple of options. So like for this person, their special focus is beverages, but you'll be able to select from a list that is going to be, where is it? It's going to be in this pile under trainer checklists, excuse me. So under trainer checklists, a card that doesn't currently exist, but will, that's going to be called operational focal point, or excuse me, operational focus. And it's going to update regularly, okay? So there's going to be like a top 3 roughly, and that's going to be based on the competency distribution in our store. So we're going to kind of actively assess each other, learn what we do and don't know, and then our weaknesses are what we're going to attack with our training. So they'll pick a focus, it'll be one of our operational weaknesses and needs, and then they'll train really hard in that focal point for 5 days while they also learn order taking and meal delivery to standard. They have a 5-point ranking system, so you can rank them on their operational focus, if they're hungry, humble, smart, and then their skill in order taking as well as meal delivery. All of that gets rolled together in my competency matrix, and I can track progress over the course of the whole training. So I take that data and I input it daily, and then we're able to kind of look at the trend line for where this trainee's headed. You have checklists here for day 1, care, some hip pocket training. So when they're doing really well and you need to break up maybe the training, or you're running out of orders to take because it's snack or whatever, you can find things to do here. This is familiar from the previous system, and these are really important things to expose them to. And we're building and adding to that list actively with feedback. So like I'm going to put making lemonades and coffee base on there. And then there are a few other things in here. You have some standards point of reference. So order taking standards. I've attached the order taking standard directly from Chick-fil-A corporate. So we have this for upstreaming the IPOS inside. We have it for drive-through experience. We have it for inside. And so we can use this as a quick point of reference. Okay, yep, here are the things that we need as just a baseline. I know our store tends to take things and try and take them to the next level. So this is just going to get you a baseline for what are the fundamental expectations? Are they hitting those markers, lid markings, ice portioning, etc.? So you can see those there for all the different zones that they might be training in. And then trainers get their list as well. So I'll use Brennan as an example, but trainers have a checklist pre, post, and during shift, right? So it's a pretty simple right now. I'm gonna dress it up a little bit as we move forward, but still expecting pre-day communication, 24 hours in advance is optimal, things to prioritize on shift, and then after shift, what needs to be done to make sure that we can follow up with the trainee in an effective way. So the goal here is to take the scalability of the most recent system so that the next time we need to onboard a large number of people in rapid succession, we're able to do it but keep it organized, but also get some of the order and clarity from previous systems that Nico had in place so that we have consistent results for where our trainees are at, the progress they're making, and how skilled and competent they are in each area, okay? So the key here is transparency. We have to rate trainees honestly. We have to keep track of progress honestly, and also communication. So trainers are still expected to be very proactive in communication, which I've been very, very impressed with how quickly they adopted that standard and how precisely they moved into making sure that communication was happening the day beforehand and building a plan with picks. So that's been stellar. And then for shift leads as well, same thing, lots of communication. Every time we roll out something new, we need feedback to know how it's going. So you guys communicate to me, to the trainers, and let us know what's working, what isn't working, and what's going to serve shifts better and get you more competent trainees inside a week. So I'm excited about where this is headed. I think it's going to save a little productivity. I think it's going to make shifts a little more smooth. I think the most important thing is it's going to make team members feel really cared for because they're going to be able to start immediately providing value to the business inside their first month with the business, which I don't think we've ever really done before. Usually it takes about a month to pay off the training and they still haven't learned everything they need to. So getting them really operational in one area and then developing them laterally is going to make them a lot more confident because they're very competent in one or two things. And then from there, they can spread that outwards and learn new skills. So I'm excited about this. If you have any questions, you can shoot me a message. And otherwise, feel free to drop your thoughts in reply to the thread here in Slack. And I will see you all tomorrow.